What is up, squad? It is your Squid, aka the Anxious Squid, here at Anxious Squid Productions, my YouTube channel. If this is the first time you've stumbled across one of my videos, please, when you're done with this video, have a poke around the channel. I have lots of diversified content. Hit the subscribe button, and thank you to all the people that have hit it so far. You probably already know because of the title and the thumbnail for this video. I've been into hockey for a little while. It was one of the first sports, American sports that I liked. And so, you know, I followed it before I moved here and all that sort of stuff, but I've never really looked into Gretzky or Lemeuix. The most I've seen of Gretzky actually is that he wasn't very a good coach of the Coyotes when I was first starting to get into hockey, you know what I mean? Because that was the way I got into hockey, because of a guy that I worked with who'd liked Winnipeg back in the day, but then they became the Coyotes, and so he liked them and followed them and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it was a weird introduction to hockey, but you know, people playing ice hockey in the desert. But I'll get to that, and you know, I may as well play the title screen now, I guess. You know, without blabbering on too much, I'm going to check out Wayne Gretzky versus Mario Lemieux. Let's do it. Okay guys, sometimes I would throw up a sponsored advertisement or like a product I believe in or something, but I don't have anything for this video, so boom, just showing you guys the stuff you would get sent to you if you were a Patreon member. These people are patrons of my channel so far, and I can tell you now, I am super thankful for them. They're the best. Thank you very much to them. But without failing that, just hit the subscribe button. I'm a little bit chilly. My heater broke and it's a little bit like too noisy to film with anyway, and it's, you know, a bit later in the evening and it's snowing outside and stuff, and you know, I'm gonna get this going, but it'll only be a short one. I was gonna do Bo Jackson, and I'll do that next, I think, you know, but that video is longer, so I've decided I'm gonna do this one. The screen is recording in 3, 2, 1, go. There it is, and let's get straight into it, shall we?
Welcome
Who is better?
to another edition of Hands Down Hockey. My name's Justin.
Check out this guy in the comments.
If you're a hockey fan like me,
I've got to do, you know, the link to this guy in the descriptions of this video, so check him out as well. I'm not trying to mooch off his content or anything. I'm just reacting to it because it was the first one that came up when I wrote in Gretzky and Lemeuix.
way back when I just started this channel, I actually had a series called Versus, and every week I would put two players head to head. Haven't done something like that in a long time, so I wanted to jump back into it today. And one of the biggest ones of all time, next to Sid and Ovi of today.
Ooh, that'll be a good one to react to as well.
Matthews today. The debate of Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux, and which player was better than the other. Now,
so
I'm kind of
basically what I've heard is that Gretzky was really good. He's the greatest that's ever played the game. Lemieux might have been better, but he got injured or something. That's the
side that
all I know.
Guys was a very unique individual, and each one of them is arguably the greatest of all time. You could say Mario Lemieux is the greatest player of all time. That's a perfect statement. You could say Wayne Gretzky's the perfect player, or the greatest player of all time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Same with Bobby Orr, Gordie Howe. There's so many.
So they're both up there in the upper echelons, I'm taking.
The debate will forever.
It's sort of acceptable to say it either way.
But let's put Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux head to head and actually look at them from a player's perspective of points, awards, and so on. So let's dive into their career story.
Yeah, so
let's start with Wayne Gretzky here on
wow, way less games played.
Wayne Gretzky played 1,486
way less assists as
during
well.
that time. He scored 894 goals, which, by the way, is the most goals of any player of all time. 1,963 assists. Most assists
that's
of any player
interesting.
of all time. In fact,
interesting when you put them next to each other like that.
And total points 2,850.
Sorry, I don't want to be talking over him, but yeah, that's interesting when you put them right next to each other like that, because it's like if he played more games, he might have been better. But it's an if and it's a might, and you can't really talk about the best player ever if they're with an if and a might, you know. So Gretzky is better based on that, but it's like it's a big if and might, you know, like it's a pity he didn't even play 1,000 games.
It's a very interesting stat, and that's the first one. The fact that he's only played 915 games. So you have to look at it as, okay, Mario Lemieux battled a lot during his career. He really did.
That's
Imagine
rough.
if he had have played another 500 games, roughly, you know, what Gretzky played over Lemieux.
That's like over half of what he played.
Alongside the great one,
looks like
Wayne Gretzky. I think if anybody would have had a shot at competing with Wayne Gretzky for the #1 all-time in points, it would have been Mario Lemieux. Had he stayed healthy and had he continued to have a long and prosperous
That's a fair
career.
assessment, I guess.
Unfortunately, so many roadblocks came his way and really held the guy back. But it still didn't stop him from having an amazing career, winning a ton of hardware, and of course being a Hockey Hall of Famer, much like Wayne Gretzky. So Lemieux played
I'm glad they're both in the Hall of Fame at least. That's cool.
Now also keep in mind,
because he's obviously an amazing player.
All time in points, and he's the only guy who's there, having played less than 1,000 games. That is a huge statement.
Huge achievement.
690 goals, 1,033 assists for 1,723 points.
It's not a bad day at the market, is it?
For only playing 915 games.
Not a bad day at the market at all.
Look at their hardware. It's quite interesting. Well, let's put it this way. Between the two of them, they've won a ton of hardware.
Yeah, wow.
Look at Wayne Gretzky.
Could fill a trophy case, couldn't it?
5 times. He's won the Hart 9 times.
Or 2.
Won the
Or 3.
Twice. 4 Stanley Cups, and what separates them is the fact that Gretzky won the Lady Byng 5 times.
Yeah, wow, nice.
He never won the Lady Byng, but he did win the Calder.
I don't know what all of those are for, but
now,
somebody in the comments section, if you could let me know what the Art Ross, Ted Lindsay, Hart Trophy, Conn Smythe, Stanley Cup, and Lady Byng are for. I know what the Stanley Cup is, obviously. You don't need to let me know what the Stanley Cup is. And the Conn Smythe is the MVP, the playoffs, I'm pretty sure, isn't it? And is the Hart Trophy the MVP, or is that the most goals scored? And is the other one of those the Art Ross? I don't know what the Ted Lindsay is. Anyway, let me know what all those are in the comment section if you can. I don't know what the Lady Byng is either. So, please and thank you. That would be great.
Ross 6 times, the Ted Lindsay 4 times, the Hart Trophy 3 times, Conn Smythe.
Like, amazing to get these achievements no matter what they are. Without a doubt.
In 91 and of course 92 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now Gretzky won the Stanley Cup as a player 4 times. He won it in 84, 85. We know what happened in 86, and then he won again in 87
rough.
and 88.
I watched that in one of my highlights the other day.
After the trade that sent Gretzky to LA, a lot of people thought, okay, that's it. You know, the dynasty for the Oilers is over. There's no way they're going to win the Stanley Cup without Gretzky. But they went on to win a cup.
I'm telling you now, I'm still laboring over what image I'm going to cut out of Gretzky, whether I'm going to have him as an Oiler or a King in the image I have versus Lemieux for the thumbnail. So let me know if you think I got it wrong, if I should have had him as an Oiler or I should have had him as a King or even a Ranger. I saw him in a Rangers jersey when I was Googling him the other day as well. So let me know if I got the team wrong that I put him in as on the thumbnail, but I hopefully I didn't.
Without Gretzky in 1990. And that was a big statement to really show how deep that team was and the fact that they could win without, arguably, you know, one of the greatest players of all time.
Arguably one of? Like, that's not arguable, that's definitely. He's definitely at least one of.
NHL.
The best ever. He's arguably the greatest.
Into the 1990s. Because as we know, Gretzky came in with the Oilers and the expansion and so on, but Lemieux didn't actually enter the NHL until the 1984 season. So there was a bit of a gap there in years between Gretzky and Lemieux, but once Lemieux got into the NHL, he just took off like wildfire, scored 100 points in his rookie season.
Oh, that's a hell of a start, isn't it?
Arguably the main reason why, well, one of the main reasons for sure, why the Pittsburgh Penguins went on to win Stanley Cups in 1991 and 1992. But if we consider Mario Lemieux and the fact that now...
Yeah, he would have been a big part of those teams, obviously, considering...
Technically has more Stanley Cups than Wayne Gretzky because Pittsburgh won the Stanley Cup in 2009 and then 2016 and 2017. So Mario Lemieux played a part in that and technically has...
Oh, I suppose, because doesn't he like own the team and stuff now as well, sort of? Someone explained that to me as well. I read somewhere that Lemieux owns part of the Pittsburgh team and did while he was playing or something and helped prop him up because it wasn't like they might have had to relocate, but he like helped the fans out or something. Like, I don't know, I've heard of him being a really good dude as well as a really good hockey player, or like he's been good for that franchise. Explain, someone, if you could, if you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan or something and you're passionate about Lemieux, give me a heads up. And does Brendan Lemieux from the Rangers have any relationship to Mario Lemieux or any previous Lemieux player? because I saw him, he was going to square up with Max Domi the other day, and I was like, huh, I wonder if like any of their older relations squared up previously, because I know Max Domi's dad was a bit of a fighter and stuff as well, so it's like, I don't know, I wonder about these things, and you guys are my knowledge.
Is the fact that he could never be referred to as one of those mediocre transitions from player to coach, because does anyone remember when Wayne Gretzky was behind the bench?
I remember.
It's one of those
Coyotes.
things you really don't want to remember.
He wasn't great.
It was quite bad.
Yeah.
Very, very bad. But these two...
He's like, everyone talking like Kyle Turris this week, or Turris, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he got a whole bunch of beef because he was sat for 11 games straight. And he came back and he scored a goal and an assist, and he was like, yeah, I did just as well as I would have if I hadn't sat for that long, and it was like, yeah, that's a good way to stay on side with the coach, mate. Criticise him. That's real smart, clever. And like, anyway, that's a whole nother topic. He like held the Coyotes to ransom as well at one point, but it was because Gretzky had put early games into him, and like filled his brain with, oh, you're the next Crosby, you're the next whatever, you're the next this, and he's not. But that was a bit of a tangent. But there you go. That's my opinion of Kyle Turris, and it's probably Gretzky's fault.
Through the 80s and the early 90s and so on, and two of the greatest of all time without question. So I'm hoping to get some debate going here in the comment section. So if we look at their career stats, we look at their career hardware.
I haven't seen highlights. I guess I'll watch individual highlight videos.
International play as well, because if we looked at international, well, okay, this would definitely spread out a lot more. So what are your thoughts? Who do you think is the better player just between Gretzky and Lemieux? And tell me.
Well, I think Gretzky's the better player.
So small. I think
but there's an asterisk on Lemieux's stats.
As 185 pounds, 6 feet tall. Lemieux, much bigger guy. Power type forward. Gretzky, very cautious.
Different players, but
probably the guy who wasn't playing the most defense by any means, and very often he'd be waiting up by the center line.
Interesting. I've never seen his plus minus or anything, but
because remember,
it'd still be pretty massive because he scored so much and like assisted so much. But
let me know your thoughts below. Who was the better player? Wayne.
Feel free to go and check this guy out. The link will be in the description, without a doubt.
So as always, guys, you can
thank you to him.
Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe, and remember, everyone, keep watching the greatest game on earth, hockey.
Okay, so I'm going to end that one there, but I will, because I thought there might have been actual highlights back to, comparing against each other there, and there weren't. So that was really interesting. I will upload this as well, but I'm going to leave Gretzky and Lemieux both on my list still to check out individual highlights from as well. I'm going to do Bo Jackson in the next day or two. In case you didn't watch my question and answer video previously, I did try and do a Lamar Jackson video, but I messed up in the editing and accidentally deleted stuff. So I'm going to do another one, but it'll be in about a week or so that it's fresh. It's not fresh in my mind, if that makes sense. If I've done a whole bunch of other players and filmed a whole bunch of other stuff, I will have forgotten the highlight moments, and I'll still be able to give you guys a genuine reaction, even though it's the second time I'm watching it. As I said before, if this is the first time you've stumbled across my channel, please have a poke around. Don't just decide based on this one. Let me know if you like this one. Let me know in the comments section below if you think there is a player or a sport that you want me to check out. I've been checking out NFL or American football in general. I like watching college ball as well. I've been checking out baseball. I've been, looking into hockey a little bit more, even though I've been vaguely following it for about 10 years now away from it. Go Isotopes. Go Squid Squad. Join my Patreon. Join these guys on my Patreon. They're legends. You could be a legend too. I'll see you when I look at you. You'll see me when you look at me. Thanks for watching.